Okay, I wanted to show a little bit about the little junk journal that I made so that y'all could see a little more of what it actually looks like instead of just the still pictures that I took. And so that's the whole book. I think they're either 1.5 or 2-inch binder rings. I can't remember which right now. But I just still think the little book cover is so cute. I haven't decided what I may cover up of it to decorate the book. I will be adding some different fibers and things like that to the rings. I just haven't gotten it to that point yet. But I just thought I would do a little quick flip through and just show some of the things in it. I went back and added some different little colored clips to the pages just to add some more interest in places to actually put things onto all of the different pages that are in the book. This one, this was something I made years ago as a little sample book for something I was doing on the internet, and I found it amongst some of my things, and each one of the little pages just has a stamped inspirational message or verse, so I thought that would be neat to kind of tuck in one of the little envelopes, so I put it in that one. Here's another page that I made using some lightweight cardstock and some patterned paper. And I made it two-sided so that both sides had pockets on it. And then this was one of those paint chip tags that looks like the little arrow. And so I tucked one of them inside that pocket. This was a sunflower that I had actually done a little colored pencil drawing of, cut it out, added it to the cardstock layer, and then took a stamp that I have that's a journaling spot image and just stamped it over the face of the stamp so something could actually be written in it, but I thought it was kind of cool after I done it, so I left it like that. This was a watercolor piece that I had done just playing around, experimenting with cutting out shapes from watercolor paper. So I just attached it at the bottom edge so that this little fold over could be tucked behind it to hold it in place. And this was part of a piece of glossy cardstock that I had done an acrylic paint background onto. Then I found this little sticker of this little girl. It looks like she's holding a telephone. So on the inside, I stamped 2 of my little journaling spot images. So it could be a little phone book for writing down a certain name, phone number, that sort of thing. So I thought that was kind of cool. This was a little gift bag that I had gotten some treats in at an event that I went to, and so I just attached it to the page as a little flip out, stamped some more of those little journaling spots, and then just a plain manila shipping tag. I covered one side with this patterned paper and then stamped my plain line journaling stamp somewhere, wherever it's at, so that it would have lines on it. And then the back side, I actually stamped my ledger stamp onto just to create more places for notes to be written, things to be jotted down on, and then added some different colored little clippies to the page. This is one where I actually took a fold-over card base that I had made. I distressed the doily and added the doily folded around the card and just thought it looked really cool. I did the rest of the distressing was just done with the ink pad. Added a little clippy here. Then on this side, this was a little sample of a technique that I had done from years ago that I found. And so I used it as a little tuck spot. And then the inside is still a pocket. This was the front of a card from a card swap that I was in years ago, but it was just so cute what she had done to it. And the little envelope has a little fold over inside there. And it just was so neat, so I cut off the part that she had written on, and then here I've just added a few pieces of sticky note paper and a little clippy. This was just a large envelope that I found, stamped some of the journaling spots on it, added a clippy on this side. I took another piece of the sample stuff I had done from some techniques and made a little tuck spot for it. This is more of the little paint chip pieces that I had here, and so I thought they were perfect. Then I found a few sheets of note paper, and I just tucked them inside that envelope. This was actually a piece of patterned paper for its text weight, but I folded it in half and glued it to actually make one sturdier page, and then just added the clips to it, and I chose not to stamp any journaling spots on it. A piece of the corrugated cardstock I had in my stash. Another scrap piece that had some visual interest when I rubbed the ink pad over it. So it kind of looked textural, and I thought that was kind of neat. So I did another one of the large shipping tags and another one of the paint chip samples. And then just did little tags to tuck down in the pocket and added some clippies. On the back side of that paper, I did one of the pieces of songbook page, and I cut it to kind of fit and then attached it. And then I didn't want to cover any of it up, so I figured just anything could be added under the little clip. Another little envelope, and I added this piece of patterned paper just to kind of extend the flap, but then you can still use the envelope for putting things in. This one I just folded over a piece of scrap patterned paper and made a little pocket and used my circle punch to punch out the little thumb tab pulls, and then added a clippy to it. This was the remaining piece of this glossy cardstock that I had done with the acrylic paint technique. So I turned it into a pocket, used my punch to make the thumb pull, and then added the piece of cardstock here that I did the stamping on, and then it just makes a pocket, and then the little clips keep it closed. The back side, you can still use the same clips under it, but then I also made a little belly band that things could be tucked or attached to. Another card front. This was a file folder that actually had little goodies in it that was sent to me in a swap, but I thought it was just perfect to make a little pocket page with. This was just from my notepad I keep in the kitchen for jotting down what I need from the grocery store, and then I stamped the journaling lines on the back of it just for keeping little notes on. This was just a scrap piece of handmade paper, and I trimmed it to fit in the book. Just a plain piece of cardstock. One of the pages from the children's book that the tale of the kittens was about, and I just hand tore around the photo or the picture and then attached it to the cardstock. And then this was another greeting card that I actually turned into a pocket, and here at the bottom it says thank you. And I just thought that was kind of sweet. It looked like Grandma was sitting there maybe giving thanks for all the good stuff that happens to her. And on the back I added some more of the journaling lines just randomly stamped. Here I took another envelope and turned it into a pocket, added another layer of patterned paper here that's a little pocket, and then on the back I made another little tuck spot with a piece from an envelope where I had gotten something, and the Malaysia stamps were just so pretty, so I turned that into a corner pocket and added it. This was a piece of gold foil pattern paper just in a box that I ran across. So I took the distress ink pad and rubbed it on the back side, and the pattern was just so pretty on both sides, then I just left it like it was. A piece of vellum that has the little flecks and gold sparkly things in it. Another little pocket I made from some handmade paper. Another pocket page of sorts. I wrapped the doily around the edge of it, and things could be tucked under that. More patterned paper that I just glued together that was just scraps. Here's another one of those little envelopes, and these were coffee stained. I just put some day-old coffee in a spray bottle and just started spritzing the dickens out of all the white surfaces, and then let them dry and then put them in the book. This was a card that I actually made as a project from probably the late 90s in a class that I taught, and it was a pocket card, and the way you folded the front of the card, it made the little pocket, and you could tuck a separate sentiment or note in, and then it flipped up, and what I did is I trimmed this corner off so that it would still flip up, and I just included it in the little book, and then it's got the little clippies that can be used for tucking things. Another piece of the corrugated paper. This is another one of my pieces of artwork, and I attached it so things could be tucked in there. The back side, this is a little tuck pocket, and I just thought it was kind of cool with the word fly. I've got a dragonfly stamp, and I'm going to stamp an image of it on that. This was just a card out of an office that you would put things on, but I thought it would be kind of cool for any journaling. And this was in something that from when I had the grandkids here, and it was just a little game to find the words on this list, and I thought it just kind of went with the theme. And this is the inside back cover. I'm going to do something to camouflage some of this and then just leave the sweet little lady there at the bottom. And I kind of like the back cover like it is, so I doubt I'd do anything, or I may put a little book plate right in the middle. But that's the little junk journal, or first junk journal, that I've made.